There's a huge opportunity out there for the CS2 investing market, but first I want to talk about what's going on inside of our current investments, and that's starting off with the character craft collection stickers. A lot of these are something that a lot of people have really invested into, and if we want to look at them right now, we have not seen too much really go on inside of this. Obviously, we've seen some prices go up slightly, but overall, we're not seeing anything too crazy just yet. That's really to be expected, honestly. They've only been out of the Armory for a very short period of time. If we want to look at the projected ROI, if you could buy them right now, it's about 250%, which is solid and higher than what it was previously. We can kind of use this as a gauge moving forward if these items, generally speaking, are going up in value. Seems like they are. Now you still got to remember for something like this, especially for the graphic collection as well, we're going to be seeing some pretty massive swings in prices just because they are not the most liquid item. They are definitely in a position where there's a lot of liquidity right now, but that liquidity is going to go down over time, especially for something like the graphic collection, which is definitely a little bit more precise. Here for the character craft collection, well, we're still seeing a lot of stickers on the market, a lot of activity going on, and the application rates look solid. Overall, this area is in a pretty ideal situation, although the prices haven't risen just yet. I really like the outlook we're seeing. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with their brand new instant sale system. Starting off today, you're going to be getting a free $10 on your first trade, and you're going to be able to get that money instantly. It's not going to take 7 days to get paid with Skinland. You can do it in just minutes after Valve's latest update. Best part is they've got tons of different payout options, and don't forget to use code MasterShiny to get everything you're looking for. They're the safest option if you're looking to sell your CS2 skins, plus their massive marketplace offering every single thing you're looking for if you're trying to buy CS2 skins as well, and a ton of different deposit options. So don't wait, use code MasterShiny and get paid instantly for your CS2 skins. Now before we get to the area that I really want to talk about, we want to talk about our Fever and Gallery cases as well, as they've been really in the highlight. If we want to look at it, obviously the Gallery case has shot up in price. It's no longer that $20, $30. Instead, it's pushing near a $2 price point consistently, which is very interesting to see. I would definitely say if this is a discontinued case, there's a lot of opportunity with it. Some people are not a fan of the exact items inside of it, but that's not always the most important factor, especially when it comes to the overall hype really being interested in the Gallery case right now. Be careful, obviously there's no guaranteed profit. Fever case on the other hand is one that I'm now shifting my interest to look at. When it comes down to a price point, if this thing reaches maybe $1.95, I'm personally going to be looking at picking up a lot more. As of the current price on it, I honestly think it's going to be sticking around for a while. However, it's also important to realize we thought that about Austin, and then Austin just got removed. So if you really are dying to make an investment, I would not wait on this current price point, because I don't think it's going to be getting significantly cheaper from the current market. And lastly, before we move into the most important area to talk about, we got the Austin Major. This one is just very interesting because it keeps on going up in price. We talked about these capsules reaching 50-60 cents. Now they're starting to approach 75, maybe 80 cents, depending on which capsule you're looking at. There is definitely a lot going on here for these price points. I will definitely say these are starting to get to a price point that's a little bit nerve-wracking if you were trying to make an investment right now. That being said, you bought in at 25 cents, you're obviously sitting quite well, as these capsules have shot up in value. And honestly, I don't think they're going to be coming crashing back down, but this is definitely a little bit of an inflated price point in my personal opinion. If you want to look at a graph like this is not normal development, but it is a major capsule with lower supply. At least that's the way it appears. So it's definitely possible this could be a trajectory that is not going to come crashing back down, but I would be very nervous. Now, breaking down exactly what's going on here, for the first time in CS2 history, we have a very drastic change, and that's going to be the fact that obviously our fracture case got moved into the rare drop pool. That part we know, that part we're very familiar with, but we want to focus in on the other 4 active duty cases. For the first time in CS2 history, when a case got moved into the rare drop pool, the other 4 or 3 or whatever number that were remaining didn't go down in price. In fact, they actually went up here, and they went up a pretty significant amount for one major reason, and that's going to be the fact that their odds got significantly lesser for you to actually get dropped this because of the Seal Genesis terminal. We talked about this in a previous video. The odds of getting a Seal Genesis terminal are nearly 40%. That's insane, and that's a huge margin taken away from these active duty cases, which is really influential, and we can see that already in the price point. We're seeing these active duty cases sporting a price that's quite expensive, considering usually during this period, this is their low time. In a previous video, I talked about how I expected these to go down. That was before we knew that the Seal Genesis terminal was making up 40% of these active drops. Now we can see exactly these prices are going up in such a short time period. There is a lot of things we need to focus on because of this. Now, what exactly is the issue inside of this? Well, first up, there's obviously the very vast issue of if Valve decides to go down to the pathway of the Seal Genesis terminal coming out with subsequent after ones. We're seeing a Seal Genesis terminal 2 or just another variation of this coming out instead of a case. This is basically Valve's substitution of a case. We can see the data lines up that we should have gotten a case. Instead, we got this, and that's a very important thing to notice, because if we want to look at our unboxing numbers, they have stayed nearly the exact same. Even though there are 40% less cases coming into the game this month, we can see that the unboxing numbers are completely unfazed by this. In fact, it's nearly identical to what we saw previously. That's a huge, drastic difference that in the short term right now, we're not noticing a huge impact into the market, but consistently, this is going to be one that's going to be eating up a lot of the supply of every single case. There is now not a single case in the game other than the Fever case that there are more cases coming in than there are being unboxed. That's for the first time in CS2 and CSGO history. It's like that for every single case except one, and that's extremely important to talk about because that has some major market impacts. Now, what exactly does this mean? Well, I laid it out very bluntly. There are 40% less cases coming into the game today than there were a month ago, and that means that the unboxing numbers staying the exact same are probably going to lead us into an issue very, very soon. Obviously, previously we talked about how the fact that rare cases are always running at a deficit. We have a very important situation with rare cases, and that's why the supply is going down, but the price point keeps on going up because the demand is staying relatively constant inside of that area. Now, for the first time, it's shifting over into active duty, where we are seeing these cases now running at a deficit. That's very important because that's never happened before, and that means that the overall case market is going to be getting a lot more pressurized. Now, what is the market impact of this becoming a lot more pressurized? Well, first up, we're going to be in a situation where rare cases just became even more desirable in my personal opinion. If we want to look at it, the Seal Genesis terminal has nothing on any of these cases coming in, and especially these rare cases, which are in a situation where the majority of them have really not much competition other than other rare cases. That's very important because you can't get a Spectrum 2 knife other than a Spectrum 2 case, and the Spectrum 1 and Spectrum 2 are your only options. That's happening all across the board with these cases that are the rares, and we're going to be seeing most likely these price points start to be very, very strong over the next upcoming year. If we want to look at it in the short term here, it's very likely we don't see much going on because that's how the CS market works. There's a reason why you can profit so much with CS2 investing, and that's because people are very, very late movers and very, very hype focused when they hear specific news. I've sounded this alarm or said statements like this many times in the past, and every single time in the past year, I've been up quite significantly because of this. And that's not because I'm some mastermind, it's because it's a very simple trend. We are running out of supply and the demand is staying the same. If we keep on this trajectory, which we have for the past couple of years, and most likely it's going to tone down very slightly, but we're still going to be on a rough outlook like that, the prices are going to keep on going up. It's why when we look at rare cases, the prices consistently over a long enough period of time go up very, very significantly. It's not because people are mastermind investors, it's because it's basic knowledge that if we keep on this trajectory, prices are going to increase. Now, what exactly should you be doing right now? Well, first up, I would highly suggest checking out the rare case market and seeing which cases you like the most. I would highly suggest you check out the cheaper rare case category because you're most likely going to be getting a better return inside of this because they are cheaper, they're easier to get into, and they've got a lower barrier of entry. But if you want to look at the overall systems, there's a lot of different unique aspect about each case, and I would highly suggest you go into the one that speaks to you the most. But that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.